Ayo, ayo. All right, back live here, your Everyday Rich podcast. Your host, Jason, and it's just me solo today. And I've been doing a few of these solo episodes on my own just because of in terms of the timing of us recording with day jobs and kids' schedules and life in general, making the opportunity of the time I have, and when the ideas kind of sometimes pop in your head. So, welcome to your Everyday Rich podcast. If you're new to this show here, where we talk and bring to light conversations that we have in our living rooms about money, mindset, financial literacy, and things around investing, so that you can create your everyday rich. And we try to wrap all those things around some funny cultural things that observationally we observe on our own life and other cultures. But today, I had a topic about wishing we knew what we knew now earlier, right? And it's this whole thing about shoulda, woulda, coulda, and having foresight. It's always easy when it's in hindsight, right? 2020 vision. But we always question ourselves like, oh man, if we did that, if we did this, how would have things changed, right? Will we have been so much further ahead? And, no one knows the answer because nobody knows. You don't actually know if the choices you made before that you like with the information you have now means a positive result, right? So we always, we do believe the best in our abilities to execute, but it doesn't mean that it's going to come and to a result that is favorable. But obviously, having the information, the education within you and understanding the concepts that you're learning, taking shots early on allows you to kind of adjust and try, right? But obviously, if you didn't have that opportunity, even like myself, I wish I started when I was 16. I wish I started when whatever, right? Who knows? And part of what I was thinking about was, well, what can we do to teach our kids that earlier? Because remember, our kids are like sponges, right? And if you have kids or you're ever thinking of having kids, it's like I call being a parent the most critical job in the world. Like, it is the most important job that you'll ever have in your life. And truly, you won't understand that until you're in that position, because it's hard to describe that emotional connection, right? But if you're already there and you are there, one thing we myself and Jen, like, we want to teach our kids investing principles earlier on. We want to teach them good money habits. We want them to be exposed to the concepts of money and how to make money, how to invest money, what glimpses of entrepreneurship is like. Because when we were younger, we were raised around a very traditional family of work, go to school, get good grades, go to university, graduate, get a job, right? And work. And somewhere in between, invest in some mutual funds and GICs. And, although that does, it's very basic in its form, the core principles of what our parents kind of taught us weren't wrong. They were just a bit, I would say, outdated, because today's world, there's so many different opportunities available to us to make money, right? It's not just about your 9 to 5. And it's about, well, what can you do to maximize your skills and your creativity, right? Really, what are you really good at? What do you really enjoy? And that's something where, our oldest Josh, was it last year? He just all of a sudden asked early last year. He was like, hey, Ba, how do you make money? And it was interesting because I was thinking back when I was a kid, I never asked these types of questions. I never asked my parents, like, how do you make money? You know, we just saw our parents go to work, come back, put food on the table, buy us, you know, like clothes, shoes, or whatever, and save up for vacations and stuff like that. But we never had that instinctive questioning curiosity back then. And I don't know why. Maybe it was just a cultural thing, right? It's you're a product of your environment. But it struck me that when Josh asked, like, hey, Bah, how do you make money? I looked at him, I was like, that's a good question, kiddo. And I looked at Jen and I was just like, you hear what your kid just asked? And I asked him, I said, Josh, what made you ask that question? And he's like, well, I know we need money to buy things, and you guys go to work and you do things and etc. But he mentioned something about like, you know, obviously him seeing paper bills, right? And we explained to him like what cash was, paper cash, one day, and he was like, "Oh, that's money," because to him, money was this magical, imaginary thing that was attached to our phones, right, or your credit cards, and they got a thrill about like tapping because you know it's all about tap and contactless payments. So there's no real world relationship to money. Like he can't imagine and see a real world example of money except when he saw cash. So then I looked at him and he was just like, yeah, well, I know money, you need money to buy things. And I'm like, okay, well, why do you want to make money? And then he was like, well, so I can help. So I can help buy some stuff for the house. And I looked at him and I was like, damn, all right, okay, I like where you're going with this. And then we said, okay, you know what? Like, all right, let's try to answer the question, right, to a 5-year-old. And I was thinking, you know what? I never thought about how I'd actually answer this to a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, whatever he was. And we always, you know, we always say, try to explain things like you're talking to a 5-year-old. And I could tell you right now, sometimes that is the hardest thing to do. It's not easy, right? Because we're so used to talking to adults. We're so used to trying to complicate answers. We try to make things sound better than they are. But really, when it comes down to it, like even the way I'm trying to get to this concept, right? I could be more concise. We could be simple. We can simplify things. So anyways, I'm like, okay, well, Josh, there are a few ways that